But that's exactly what we want. If you didn't feel your quads, gee whiz, how good can the technique possibly be?
Which comes back to what we were saying earlier, Mike, which is choosing a weight within your means. We need to be training in that 5 to 30 rep range. And with regard to good technique, we need to be using a load that facilitates those parameters, the full range of motion, the tempo. Often people can't do that good technique because they're training beyond their means. It's that guy thing of ego lifting and using loads that don't actually allow you to do that. So I find that people having the day-to-day awareness of load selection is huge. Just because you used X weight for a certain session or certain weeks, accumulation of fatigue might warrant you auto-regulating that. And if that permits you to do all those things we just said with regard to correct technique, that's fine. Which is why the flexibility, if you will, of hypertrophy intensities with load management is a really beautiful thing that people should take advantage of to use good technique.
You put that really, really well. At the end of the day, technique is primary and load is secondary. First, you use good technique. And when you can do that with an empty bar or just your own hands, then you get to pick the weight that now fits into, okay, with this good technique, what can I do that challenges me and doesn't break my technique down in the 5 to 30 rep range? There's a lot of right answers there, but if you were using a weight with bad technique and then now it's time to do good technique, if that weight was something you could do for sets of 6 with bad technique, you may not be able to do it for a set of 1 with good technique, or maybe you could do it for a double or something. It is no longer the appropriate weight. So it's not about being attached to weights. It's definitely about being attached to good technique. And once you have a good technique that's stable, you can find your new working weight. There's some reason to believe that the last 5 repetitions especially are a little bit more stimulative of growth than the first whatever number. So if you do 15 reps, the first 10 reps absolutely grow muscle. They stimulate muscle growth, but not as much by a small margin because the faster twitch muscle fibers may not be as active. The amount of metabolites, the muscle byproducts that actually stimulate growth that are produced isn't as high. So those last 5 reps, man, they can really be the business reps. So you just don't want to do too many sets where you stop 5 reps away, especially further than 5 reps away. On the other end, you could say, okay, boom, I got it, no problem. So if the last 5 reps are really stimulative, let's just go to failure every single time, like grind every bench press until our buddy has to pull it off. What is the upside of that? The upside is you're going to get as much growth as possible out of every single set that you do, right? Period. Like every set there's nowhere else to go. You went to failure. There's nothing else to do. Technically, you could do forced reps, but that's just like more reps that are at failure. Okay, great. That seems like the right answer at first. But the downside of that is that you will accumulate lots of fatigue. And that fatigue is physical,